All right, I am now joined by a very, very, very special longtime friend, recurring guest of this podcast. It is Wil Crowe. God, I've lost count of how many times I've had him on the podcast, and that's such a great thing because he's the man. He always comes on whenever I ask. Ever since summer of 2020, Will's been gracing us with his presence. So, Wil, how are we doing?
Doing good, man. Just at home, enjoying the last couple weeks of baseball, enjoying some family time. Just getting into the nitty gritty of being a dad and just enjoying the kids and watching them grow up. It's one thing I'll never take for granted.
That's the best, man. Yeah, it's so like I said, you've always come on the podcast. This podcast, we want to start at the top with something that you wanted to talk about a little bit and some potentially big news here.
Yeah, so I was playing this year. I got signed by the Phillies early May, whatever it was. Was pitching all right in Double A. Feel like I was getting back to a place where I wanted to be. Got to my first start in Triple A. Kind of made a play on a ball in like the second inning where I kind of slid, whatever, caught a bunt, and kind of jammed my hip up. Didn't think anything about it, but tried to pitch through kind of some pain, some not feeling so good that start, and then the rest of that start, and then my next one. Had to go on the IL for like 2 or 3 weeks to get everything settled down, and then tried to come back and made like four more starts, and just the hip and the shoulder were not cooperating. So I had to go get an MRI and ended up having hip surgery. Um, so I'm like about 3 weeks post hip labrum surgery, and with everything being said, and like my kids, my family, I'm obviously coming off TJ, uh, and then have another second major injury. It's gonna be it for me, for my baseball playing time. As much as I want to keep playing, and as much as I love the game, I just some of the things that come with it, with the hip, you know, the rehab of it, not being for certain if it's going to be, back to where I was, and then this year with the elbow, it was really hard to get a job. Like I was throwing for 6 8 weeks, felt like I was putting up good numbers, and got one offer. That was it. Phillies gave me one offer, gave me an opportunity, and we jumped on it. And it was just really hard to get back into the system. And with that, it wasn't the greatest compensation for the time I have in the show, and everything that I've done in the game. And I'd kind of be staring that back in the face. May signing, hopefully get a job, maybe not, especially off two back-to-back surgeries. Probably might have to go to Mexico. Not really wanting to do that with my family, and my kids being so young. So just long story short, basically, is head hip surgery, and it's probably going to be, or it is going to be a final call on my professional career, unfortunately. But sometimes the body tells you when it's time to go, and the body's been beating me up for a few years now. So I think it's time to hang them up and go be an all-star dad, be a pro in my next life.
Yeah, that's like you said, like my hope is that you can get to a point where you're moving around fine, you're not having to be on crutches, you're able to like pick your kids up. And I think that's first and foremost is what I hope that you can get out of this time off here. It's just going to be, getting back to being a normal person, right? I mean, that's probably top of mind, right?
Yeah, that's right. Just getting back to function. Been on crutches for 3 weeks. I got a week or so more, and then can't run or anything for like 5 months. Like that's like the number one thing you can't do. So being pretty stagnant for until January is going to be tough. So you know, on top of the hip thing, it was bothering my shoulder. I had like a small tear in my labrum and my rotator in my shoulder as well. So I had to get a PRP there. So let's say the hip gets all better, well then the shoulder, I start throwing, the shoulder might still be torn up too. So just a lot, but like I said, I'm very strong in my faith. The Lord has, every time that I thought something wasn't going to happen, me and my wife were trying to have our first son in 2020. Felt like we couldn't do it. We were trying, and then as soon as the time was right, I made my debut. A couple months go by, we get pregnant. We were able to buy a house. Like everything that's happened in my life has been because of him, and it's him probably taking a second to be like, "Hey, take a step back, right? Like this isn't like a life altering injury. Like you're gonna come out the other side, But this is me saying like you've done a really good job. You've had a good career. Let's go be a servant to me, and let's go be, and like I said, an all-star dad and an all-star in my next life.
I'm excited to see what the post baseball career is going to hold for you, man. There's a lot of opportunities out there for guys like you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. There's a few things that I'm looking into, get some family friends doing some things. Would love to stay in the game in some capacity. I come on here and talk to you because I love talking the game. It's a passion of mine. I feel like I know a thing or two, and if I don't sound completely stupid talking about it. So I want to stay in the game somehow, whether that be lessons at a facility, maybe like player development type stuff, roles within like pro ball or the big leagues or pro ball big leagues, college, just broadcasting, talking about the game, podcasting maybe. Don't know. There's a lot of avenues that I think I can dabble into. I just got to figure out, for the first time in my life, someone's not saying, "Hey, baseball is what you're doing." Right? I got drafted, became my job, and it was like, "All right, get ready for spring. You're playing. You're playing. You're playing. You're playing. You're playing." And now it's like scary because I get to make that decision for myself. Like, hey, what am I going to go do? Like, it's not being, here's baseball. You can take it or go find a job. Like, so that's kind of cool to know that like this is like a choice of mine. So
Had a great career, a long career, like you said, drafted all the way back in 2017, 8 years ago. I wanted to talk about some of the things through that journey. Like I said, way back when you got drafted by the Nationals organization, I wanted to take a second to kind of compare that to what you had experienced in the minor leagues in 2025. I have to imagine that these are almost two different eras that you were going through.
two completely different eras. Not only like the technology, but like the arms, the way people understand the zone, like, and we might get into ABS a little bit later, but like these kids that are like playing with the ABS from like low A and get into double A and get, 500, 600 ABs on the ABS. And then they come to double A where there isn't ABS. And then they know the zone. And then they go to triple A and then there's ABS again. It's like they get 1,000, 1,500 at bats where they know the zone. And like there's a lot less chase out of like teams that are, very elite at like, hey, here's the zone, make people attack in the zone, and then you're going to be able to do much more damage than like not like going outside of what you're comfortable with. And that's a big thing on the hitting side. And then you look at the pitching side, and it's like 3 years ago, I was still in my heater with the Pirates, 94, 96. Like I think I averaged like 94.7 or something, 94.5. I don't know. It was right around big league average that year, or maybe a tick above. And I had a unicorn fastball, which was like 18 carry on average or 17 with three. So I was like, they called it cut ride. It's no longer a unicorn. Like it plays okay, but like unless you throw it 96 plus, like dudes are throwing, like I was throwing 92, 94. I got up to I think 95 in AAA, and then the hip thing happened. But like at 92, 94, even with the cut ride, my heater's like grading on a 20/80 scale at like a 30. It's like terrible. And like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it may be, it was like, hey, you can throw this into lefties. Like they don't see this a lot. Like you're throwing it a little harder. Yes, I get that. The velocity probably takes it to like a 50 back then, maybe even better. But like the movement is like there's 20 guys who throw the ball like that now. Like everybody can do that. And like, dude, we had a guy in double A, and this is like an example. Everyone in the pen is either super outlier. So like Tristan Garnett, big tall lefty with the Phillies. Yeah, Savage just made his debut. Awesome guy. I got to meet him, talk to him. He's got the highest release point in baseball, right? Like of everyone, like it's the highest. This Tristan Garnett guy is higher, I'm pretty sure. Like even it's either right with him or like an inch or two higher, but he's 6'7" or 6'8". He throws 91 from the moon from the left side, and then he throws like statistically his changeup. Like if you look at the numbers, you're like, that doesn't look like that's a good changeup. But because he's so high up, he gets like 20 on his fastball. He gets like 16 on his changeup, and it's elite. It's like really, really good. And then on the opposite side of that, if you're not a like outlier, so to speak, You got every single person in the pins throwing either 90, 94, 95 with 23, 21 to 22 inches of ride, or they're throwing 98, 99 with 19 to 20 inches of ride. Like, and that's like elite. Like back in, I remember when I was with Chase DeYoung, he was throwing his heater at like 21. It was like the best in the big leagues. We had a dude who was a shortstop for the Twins his whole minor league career, like shortstop catcher, transitioned to the Blue Jays last year as a pitcher, and now he's pitching. He was with Double A Phillies this year. Andrew Bechtel, shortstop for like his whole life, started pitching last year. He's literally 98 to 101 with 22 inches of ride and a 93-mile-an-hour slider. It's like you're throwing your slider, my fastball. Like it's way different. And back in the day, like I was 92, 94 coming up with like an okay sinker, my fastball, a good slider, good changeup, and I was able to pitch, like get guys out. The stuff that they see on me now is like it's okay, but it's not anything great. Like back 8 years ago, 7 years ago, it was pretty good. Like I was getting guys out. I was doing my thing. And then now it's like, you better not miss. You better put it on a gnat's ass or you're gonna get shelled today, bud. Like it's crazy. Like the sweeper was good for me. You know, I had a big sweeper. Slider was pretty good. Curveball performed all right. Changeup's obviously been my best pitch. And you know, when that started not moving the way that it was in the beginning, that's when I knew something was wrong. I was throwing it really well, like a 70 grade, and then it dropped to like a 45, and I was like, something's going on here. So, but like other than my sweeper and my changeup, my other four pitches were below average, like 40s, 30s, and 40s on an 80 scale. It's like, but that's what they see every day. Like the 30s and 40s are the guys who like sit in double A and triple A. And like, do I think I can make it back? Heck yeah. I was doing good. I was doing what I needed to do before the injury, but like, just it's a whole different game. It's a completely different game. Like I feel like back 8, 6, 7 years ago, if you had nuts on you, right, you had a pair of balls and could freaking go after somebody, like that played into your advantage. Like you could get a pitch here, get a pitch there. Like you're bulldogging your way through a lineup. Like, hey, come get me, right? Like now it's like I know the zone, buddy. I'm not swinging at balls. I don't swing at a ball now. It's like I don't do that. Like these guys don't chase unless they get behind early or they miss a pitch. It's very interesting and it's cool to see because the game is evolving that way.
So it sounds like the pitching, I feel like, has just gone like lightning fast in the evolution of it. So in the hitting side of it, was it just like being selective? Like what else about the hitting evolved to the point where like it that had advanced rapidly too?
So I mean, the hitters are so much more aware of like the strike zone. Like imagine you get drafted at 18 years old, right? And you go to Florida and you're a shortstop. And I was talking to our hitting coach in Double A this year. Um, and he was talking about like, look at the guys who get 2,000 ABs. That's when they're ready to go to the big leagues, right? Guy gets 1,000, guy gets 1,200, guy gets 1,500. Like he statistically they struggle a little bit until they get to that 2,000 AB mark. Like if a top prospect gets 2,000 ABs in the minor leagues, he usually performs pretty well once he gets there. There's a lot of stuff shows that like a guy who has only 11 or 1,200 or 1,500, they're not there yet, right? They haven't seen enough pitching. But let's say you have these 18, 19, 20 year olds getting drafted. They get 500 ABs on ABS in low A. They get 500 ABs on ABS in high A. So then you're at 1,000 ABs. Some guys go to the big leagues with 1,000 ABs. So they go to double A. They know the zone. They know every part of it, right? So then, like, you're throwing a good pitch. You're like, man, that's a good pitch. And they're up there like, nah, I'm not. So, like, they'll take it. They'll take their punchy and say, I challenge you to do that 3 times. How hard is pitching? The average miss is like 12 inches or 11 inches or something. In the big leagues, the average miss is like 11 inches. So like imagine you dot up a corner. One of the 3 pitches that you're going to throw, you're going to miss by about 11 inches. So like if you're 11 inches in the zone, I'm going to crush you, right? So then you go 500 ABs at double A, go to triple A, then you're back on ABS, right? You're getting three to 400 more, and you're just waiting to go to the big leagues. And you're like, I know the zone. I don't have to swing at balls. Like everything is like the human element of the strike zone is now taken away. But not that that's good or bad, but the human element, having a robot, it tells the hitters, this is what I have to swing at, this is what I don't, and this is where I'll challenge these pitchers to throw it. And if they don't throw it in the zone early, I know I can go 1-0, 2-0 and get into hitter counts. And then they're like, all right, unless I go 0-2, I don't have to chase. I can just hang. I can like, and unless you have elite stuff or elite velocity, they're like, all right, they're literally waiting. Like the Guardians do a good job. And I faced them, their double A team, my last two outings. And I didn't have my best stuff. I couldn't throw a fastball through a paper bag. So let's take it for a little what it's worth. But like, and they had a first baseman, and he hit a ball off me that day that still hasn't landed. But like, that was his first week in double A, that week that we faced him. And I'm pretty sure he hit like 740 with 6 homers. Like everything that he hit, 110, 108, 106, backside double, backside homer, in the pool, over the building, like double, triple, homer, walk, double, triple, like every AB. He's one of the best double A hitters I've ever seen in my life. Like I give this kid credit. And he was 20 years old, first rounder like last year. Unbelievable. Like built like a first rounder, swung it like a first rounder, like challenged you. Like you got ahead of him. He would fight off your crap pitches. Then you throw a ball, fight off another crap pitch. Then you throw a strike, double, homer. Like dude was good, man. He was really good. And he'd challenge guys. And I think that's kind of what the good teams are doing. They're like, hey, you can see the zone. You're going to understand the zone. And then when you realize that you know the strike zone, then it's all about yes or no. Like ball in zone, swing. Ball out of zone, don't swing. It's not like, oh, is he going to backdoor this, or is he trying to set me up? Is he going to throw fast? Like Skeens does a really good job at it because he'll like use his misses, and I think a lot of pitchers have to use their misses more if the ABS works. Like that same hitter, my last start, his first AB, I used one of my misses to get him on a backdoor sweeper. I went like fastball up and away. He took it. He was like, don't care. And then I throw like a big sweeper that starts like the exact same and goes backdoor like dotted. And he's like, tip of the cap. First pitch next AB. I throw a slider back foot, try to get it there. Pretty sure I throw it middle in, and he absolutely demolishes it and bat flips me to I don't even like Philadelphia from Reading. Like absolutely threw his bat. Like I was just laughing. I was like, what do you do, man? Like, dude just hit it 600 feet off me.
Well, I feel like there's also a
So
lot of hitting data that's like, because we always talk about like there's so much data available for pitching and like spin and all that stuff. But I feel like hitting data, I think, is slowly catching up because like the bat path is available now. I was like, Riley Green's got like the the steepest like bat path in all of the big leagues. So like he knows that like a pitch low in the zone, he'll crush. But then again, pitchers are also trying to get him at the top. So like there's more data, I feel like, out there too.
yeah, they're doing a better job on like Savant and all the things to track hitting better, like how tall you're standing, where you are in the box, where you're not. Like, but it's not that I don't know if it's that they didn't know about it prior, so to speak. I think it's just that was the data that the pitchers were using. Like in theory, like, oh, he's got a steep path. Like, let's throw the ball high. Like his hitter zone that he stinks at is up top. Like, let's kill him up top. Like, and then they come out with different things that show it to the hitters, and they're like, oh, like this is where I'm struggling. Like instead of it being a pitcher statistic, right? It's now in a hitter category. Like how many hitters are going home and going, oh, let me get on Savant and look at the pitcher stat line or the pitcher's report for me. Like nobody. Like nobody's doing that, right? Nobody's looking, like the hitters aren't looking at pitcher stuff, and the pitchers aren't going home and like, oh no, Cruz. I know this because I watch, but oh no, Cruz swings the bat at 9,000 miles an hour. I know this. Like we don't go and look at their Savant pages, like to learn like different things. But I think it's just the farther we get down this road, the more analytical both sides of the game are going to be, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. That's why you got what 12, 14, maybe 20 guys in the league who have 40 homers already. Like, I mean, there's there's a lot of dudes hitting 40 homers, and how many? Like, I want to know how many times in the last 10 years this many guys in the league have hit this many homers,
It's a
because
great
it's a
point.
lot. It's a ton. Trent Grisham, love him to death. Don't know him. Great player. He's got like 33 homers.
Yeah.
Like Trent Grisham. Like, I knew you had some juice, but like you're getting into like I'm an elite juice guy. Like here, we're hit two more tonight. I think like great player. Don't get me wrong, but like I wonder what his high was before this year. I would be willing to bet it was 20. Let's say 22. I don't even know. I haven't even
Yeah.
looked. I'm just pulling it up. So I don't know what it is. I can look real quick, but let's see. Trent Grisham. Let's see. He's got 35 this year. He's got a total or 33 this year. In his career, he's got 101. That's counting the 35 or 33 this year. So homers 6, 10, 15, 17, 13, 9, and now 33. Wait.
Not bad.
Yeah. So like that's a big jump, right? Like that's and nothing against him, but
Yeah.
like he gets into a place like the Yankees. They have obviously right field's a big deal, but is right field giving you 16 homers, 15 homers? I don't think so.
He's got more homers
You're
away
getting
from Yankee Stadium than he does at Yankee Stadium.
there you go. So like the data, the information he's getting, and the Yankees, everyone knows like they're very good at it. Like he's getting information that he maybe didn't have the last 4 years of his career with San Diego, and San Diego's not a good place to hit at night. We all know that, but like still, I don't think that takes away 15 homers, 16 homers, and there's still 10 games left. Like he's pushing, he's gonna be, if he has a good week, he's gonna be pushing 40. Like it's crazy.
Selfishly, though, from a fan's perspective, I am enjoying all the long balls, but I understand from the pitcher's point of view, it's not, you're probably take the opposite approach to that.
So it's good and bad. Obviously, pitcher wise, it stinks, but like this is my devil's advocate to ABS. You're making it easier for the hitters with an ABS, and they're already putting balls out of the yard left and right. Like I loved the ABS. I loved it in Korea. It was great. Strikes are strikes, balls are balls. I actually love. I enjoy it probably more than anyone else because of that. Like my best pitch of my career was a 92-mile-an-hour slider, perfectly dotted in the eighth inning against the Brewers. Christian Yelich. I went like 98 up and away to a 92-mile-an-hour slider down and in, dotted, and got balled. And it should have been strike three, walk off the field. And it got balled, and it was a full ball in the zone. And the next pitch, he hits a ground ball to get out of the inning. Doesn't hurt me, but like that's like the moment. That's one of those moments where you're that's my highlight reel. Like that should be on my highlight tape. But because it gets balled, because strikes aren't strikes and balls aren't balls, it fails. I think hitting is gonna get easier to a point with ABS, but I'm not fully against it. I do like having the human element a little bit with the challenge system, because guy throws a like slips and falls and throws a curveball at 60 feet or 60 miles an hour, and it lobs up there and it clips the very top of the zone, and everyone's not even paying attention. Like the umpire's probably like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then it's a strike. It's like the crossfire stuff. I get it; it's a strike, but at the same time, like it takes away from 150 years of baseball, man. 100 and however long baseball's been around, and it's an interesting argument. But the challenge system will be good because it will keep everything moving. I do like it. I think it's probably the happy medium, and it keeps the umpires in the game. And I think the game needs umpires. I think they've been around forever. They're a part of the game, just like we are the players. And I think umpires should be around. So the challenge system, I'm all for. Uh, a lot of people might not say that, but I am for strikes being strikes and balls being balls.
Well, how many times, yeah, have you seen like a pitcher, and even like you said, but that instance with Yelich, like it didn't end up like hurting you, but like there's probably been times where like umpires missed a call, then the next pitch goes out of the yard. You're like, well, wait a minute, could have been out of this.
There was one, um, shoot, what was it? Like 4 or 5 days ago. It might have been a Pirates game or something. I still watch because some of my buddies are obviously there, but it happened like it was a foul ball or something, a strike, and was called a ball, and the next pitch was like a double when like guy had like a 1-5 coming in or 1-8, and like ended up giving 2 runs, and now he's got like a 2-7. Still a good year, but like 50 innings and a 1-7, like you're dominating, and then you get screwed because of strikes, blatantly called a ball. Like I don't know. I've always been a proponent of call strikes. I'm a pitcher though. Like the hitters want the zone to be as small as it can be. So I there's two sides to every story, right?
It's a great point. I wanted to run through a couple things from your career that I don't think I've really gotten a chance to unpack and talk with you more about, which is hard to believe because, like I said, you've been on a ton. When you got called up in 2020 and it was the COVID year, was there like an at bat that you remember vividly that's like, welcome to the league is so overused, but just like that stuck with you from all this time?
Um, in 2020, I was dealing with some back stuff, so I wasn't my best. COVID kind of took over my back a little bit, so I wasn't my best. But my welcome to the moment league was um, so Corey, I think it was Corey Dickerson. He hit a homer off me in my big league debut, like the second inning on like a curveball or something, and it wasn't that one, but my next start was in Miami, I think, or maybe 2 starts later. I made like 3 or 4 that year. But my next start was in Miami against him again, and they had him like the 2 hole, and I threw like a heater. I was like, he got me on the fastball. He's not going to get me on the heater. And like second decked it in Miami, like first AB. So he was like, he started. I don't know what he did after the first homer in that first game, but like the first 2 ABs of a game that I faced him, like game one, and the next time I faced him, first AB, like big pump and then bigger pump. And I was like, all right, this guy is got my number. He is 2 for 2 with 2 homers off me already. So that was a quick entry to my big league career.
Did you face him after that?
Maybe with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Um,
Corey Dickerson is three for 3 for 7,
okay,
two with
there you
two
go.
home runs, but 1K.
So there you go. I got him once.
Yeah,
He's got the better end of me, but I got him once.
that's
So
that's a yeah that's I because I was playing this game with Dan Straley because he was like Soto was like 1 for 7 and like Joey Bats was 1 for 15 off them. I was like, oh, let's go through the good stuff. We don't really need to talk about what Corey Dickerson took you hard or whatever. But yeah, it was that's but like that's a good like thing that stuck out with you after all these years is like you get called up. Did you feel like you were ready to get called up in 19, by the way? Or did you feel like in 20 it was time?
I do to a point. I was pitching, and they called me up to AAA. I was pitching well for like my first 3 or 4 outings, and I told like we were on the road, and I don't know if I've told anyone this story before, but they like basically they didn't tell me like, hey, you're going to the big leagues, or hey, like prepare, but like someone was like, hey, when we get back home from this road trip, like pack your stuff. You might be, you might get the call. Like we had like both Joe Ross, Scherzer, all those guys, but everyone was hurt. Like Max was hurt 19, um, and they were in the middle of like making the postseason. And so I had like gotten ready and like went into the field, and they were like, "Hey, you're gonna hang tight. Like you're not gonna get. We're not gonna make the call. Max is gonna come off the IL and make the start. He's not gonna like he knows we're in a postseason race, so like he can't afford to do that or whatever. So they basically hit me with a pump the brakes type deal, and a couple weeks later, like Trace Barrera, my catcher, got called up and was on ended up being on the postseason roster and like got a ring and everything. And I was like, man, I would have got a ring. I would have got to pitch in the big like. It was the year they won it all. So like I felt like I was ready. In 2020, I don't feel like I was ready. That's funny to say because of how bad my back was with COVID. Like the day I was supposed, and we've talked about this the first time, when I explained it, we're like, we were leaving Charleston to drive up for spring 2.0. My wife gets an email. She tested positive. I called the team. They're like, turn around, go home. You've got to now test as well or do two tests. Mine was negative. So I had to go back, take two more tests, both positive. So when I got finally like 4.5 weeks later, I got to camp. They were like, have you been throwing? Have you been doing this? Like, yeah, I've been throwing like plyo balls, you know, against the wall every day, like long tossing against the wall. Sorry, excuse me. And I was like, yeah, I mean, let's go. Let's get in the game. And like, I'm like 87 to 89, right? And it's like 2 days before the season starts. And the big league team, it's one of my days to pitch. And we drive from Fredericksburg up to DC to do like a scrimmage against the starters for big league season. 2 days later, they played the Yankees in that park when Stanton hit the big homer off Scherzer, empty stadium. So it's like 2 days before that, and I lead off. I'm starting, so like Adam Eaton is leading off, and no crowd, nothing. Obviously empty. They're not playing music. Catcher fastball. I rear back, let it rip. He swings through it and goes. Adam Eaton looks at me dead on the field as loud as he can, and dudes start laughing. He goes, first pitch changeup. That's pretty ballsy. And I was like, that was my heater. Like, and literally for like 2, 3 weeks, I was like 88, 89, 88. Like I couldn't throw hard. And then I get called up and I'm like 90, 91. But in between innings, there's probably not video. Actually, I'm sure there isn't video. But instead of like going and sitting down, I had to pace the tunnel and the dugout because if I sat down, my back would lock up to where I couldn't even run to the mound, like at all. So like I would have to just walk. And like if I didn't walk and I sat down, I would literally go to stand up and my back would give out and I would fall over. Because I had like my disc, like I had a bulging disc in college, and the virus, it didn't make me sick at all. I wasn't sick one bit. It attacked my back. Like my disc just like got so inflamed and like they were like, yeah, you have a bulging disc. Like you just got to stop running and stop like ride the bike and like just hang, like not do anything. And that's when like my back stuff, well, like I was riding the bike with the Nats and stuff, and it was like that was creating the disc to get hit a ton. So I was not helping myself; I was just hurting myself more and more and more. So then when I got home, I was able to like really do some rehab and like get it calmed down. And then in 21, I obviously got traded, but I felt like, all right, I'm ready for this. Like this is we're back to where we were in 2019.
Oh my gosh. Did they know your back was all messed up? They still were like, we need you?
No, I
Oh.
didn't say a word. You think I'm gonna like? I'm in the taxi squad. I was like one of three pitchers that they probably trusted in the taxi squad that were starters. So like it was me, Seth Romero, I think was one of them. Like and some older vet guys, but like I knew that if I was pitching and like I pitched well at the alt site, that I was going to get a chance. So I was like, fight through it, take as much pain medicine you can, do whatever you can. And then it just like hit me in the face. Like all of my starts, I was like dying. Like I sat in the bullpen the last week of the season, didn't pitch at all, but like sat there and I was like, thank himself above. Like I don't have to pitch. I'm just collecting paychecks. I can be healthy. Like I don't have to feel like crap every day.
Dang. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they obviously that winter that was it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day you get the call that you're going to Pittsburgh?
Christmas Eve. Yeah. Get the call. Mike Rizzo on the phone. My wife, like, who's that? I'm like, well, looks like I'm getting traded. And she was like, what? And I was like, this is Mike Rizzo. He's not wishing me a Merry Christmas. Like that's not gonna happen. And sure enough, he was like, hey, we traded you to the Pirates. Like that was probably the best thing that's ever happened in my career, like getting to go to the Pirates and having the opportunity. And I'm super thankful for that because Pittsburgh has some of my best friends. It's one of the best cities. It was
100%.
like a second home to us. Like my child, two of my kids, well, 1.5. My second kid was kind of born there, kind of not right at the end, but we took care. We did all the baby stuff there. So like it was like a second home, second community to me. So thankfully that happened. But yeah, Christmas Eve called. I was like, all right, sounds good. Called my agent. They were like, yeah, we have Josh Bell and you. It's you guys are going for one another. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Talk soon. So, and then Ben called me a couple minutes later. And rest is history.
Did you ever meet Josh Bell?
Um, so I've talked to him in passing a few times. Like when he was in that stadium, or at Pittsburgh, and like we were playing against each other. My wife actually met his wife, um, in like the family section, and my wife says that she is one of the nicest, if not the nicest person she's ever met. Just like a wonderful soul, and just like super down to earth, just wonderful person. So, my wife has more encounters with her wife, and she said she loved her. So I know they're good people. You don't play for 10 years in the show and not being a good person. You better be
Absolutely.
elite. You better be elite if you're a bad person. That's probably better ways to put it.
So wait, you had to hit in 2020, or was there DH in 20? No, that was
DH in 20 and then
yeah.
hit in 21. Yeah.
I was gonna ask because I would put together a video for you, but just like you could swing the bat better than I didn't know what to expect when I was like, all right, I think there's a hit in here somewhere, and you smoked line drives. Like what was that about?
Yeah, I mean, I hit a little bit in college, my like freshman fall. Um, I wasn't great, but in high school, I hit like I don't know 450 with like 15 pumps my senior year. Like I was recruited at some places like smaller schools to be a pitcher and a hitter. But I got to school, I probably hit 220 in the fall, like first time seeing elite sliders and all this stuff, like a couple doubles, maybe whatever. And my coach was like, "Do you want to pitch on Sundays or do you want to hit once a week?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll start on Sundays." So I kind of hung it up then. But every off season, I would like mess around, just like knowing National League. So when I got to Double A, with the Nats, you hit when you play National League teams in Double A and Triple A when National League. So like I have a minor league homer. Um, I hit it off JoJo Romero. He almost got me the same game in like the second inning, and then I got him as a go ahead 2-run homer in like the seventh inning. Um, and then I want to say I hit like 215 or something in Double A, but then in Triple A I hit like 270 or something or 260 with like a couple doubles. Like I crushed some balls in Triple A. So it was, and then obviously, like you said, my first AB in the big leagues, the first pitch I ever saw in the
Yep.
big leagues, I hit a single. And then I proceeded to go like 0 for 35 and then hit one like one, I don't know, one, I don't know what it is. I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to get heat if I rip out this number of my friends of mine because they know that I know exactly how hard I hit
I was talking about the
it.
exit velo of your hit at Wrigley.
Yeah.
I mean, you just would say conservatively 120 off the bat.
If it was 120, I probably would have retired right then. I would have never played again.
It was like I think it one hop the wall. I was like that. If get a little more under it, that's a tank.
Yeah, if I would have hit it like 3 degrees higher, it would have went out of the stadium down the left field line because
Yeah.
it was it was peak exit velo. It was very very nice.
What are pitcher batting practices like back then? Like, were you just trying to get the fundamentals down, or were you just like, screw it? If I'm going to go up there and hit, I want to uppercut one.
So it just depends. Like some guys will go up there and bunt. Like some of your older guys will just try and get the bunt down, like or get some like backside, like move the guy over type deal. And then some guys, like for me in 21, I had so many ABs was because if our starting pitcher, if I was not pitching that day, right, I would be in like my gym shoes and like a sweatshirt, no jersey. And if it was like first inning, second inning, our starting pitcher was getting in trouble, like 50 pitches, 60 pitches, Shelty would come down and be like, "Hey, I need you to go put your stuff on and get some swings so you don't get hurt. You're going to pinch hit in the third." So I had like, I don't know exactly, but I probably had like 15 or 16 pinch hit ABs that year. Just where like I wasn't playing. They didn't want to waste a bench guy because back then you had no DH, right? So you were having to use one of your guys off the bench if the pitcher came up and you wanted to substitute, or you had to hit a bullpen guy, and you're like not doing that. So Yeah, I would go up there with our hitting Marrero. He was my guy. He still to this day he's with the Pirates. He's awesome. But he would get in there and he'd be like, dude, if you would just work on it, I think you could really hit well. And I was like, all right, sounds good. So after 21, before they like made the rule, like I spent like a good month like hitting like off the machine and velo, like prepping for like hitting because if I was a starter again, like that was a value or a part of my game that was like could be worth something. And anything to help the team win. So like I was prepping for it and then it was like, all right, we're gonna do all-time DH. And I was like, no, I'm not Otani. I'm not that good. I just want to hit like one more time.
What
So
was it like pitching to other pitchers though? Was it just all fastballs?
yeah, or like you had scouting reports on him. Like, hey, like for me, it was like he hunts the heater. Like if you throw him a fastball, he is gonna swing, like regardless. And you try and break off like a slider, first pitch, second pitch, like get him to swing over it or miss it. And then like Wainwright was so hard to get out because he would just like touch pitches and then like put a good AB together. And you're like, dang it, dude. Like you've been around for 20 years. You've seen all these pitchers. Like, come on, like give me a break. Like we're just trying to get through it. But like, yeah, you're trying to get ahead. You're trying not to hit them. That's like the biggest thing is don't get hit. I got hit one time. Um, I don't remember who hit me. I think it was a younger guy, but I got to first base. It was against the Cardinals. There was a Clemson guy on the team. He was the first. He was like a utility guy. I got to look this up now, but I got to first, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry. Like he obviously didn't mean to. You all good? Like whatever, yada yada yada. Like trying to, it's all good. Like he didn't mean to because like 3 outs go by. I'm in full control of hitting someone if I want to, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you hit me, here we go. And then he like broke down or he like had some small talk and he was like, well, I'm from Clemson and you're from Carolina. You went to Carolina. So I can't really, we can't really be friends over here. And we just started laughing and I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, I got one hit by pitch. I think it was a younger guy. But I also hit a pitcher with a curveball and faced that pitcher in Korea last year. He went back to Korea to pitch in his hometown, Kwang Hyun Kim. And I got to see him he was playing for SSG last year. He's still over there playing. I think he's one of the best, the most paid players in the league this year. But he, I went up to him and I was like, we pitched against each other. I think it was in my big league day or my big league win. My first win is when I hit him with a curveball in the back foot. And that was who I got my win against. So I was like, it was my first big league win, but like I wanted to say I'm sorry. And my translator's like, you hit him? And I'm like, yeah. And he just started laughing. He's like, it's all good. It's all good. So my translator was a big SSG fan growing up. So when I went over and I was like, hey, I got to talk to this guy, he was like, all right, I'll talk to whoever you want me to talk to. Like these are guys that I idolized my whole life. So it was good to go over there. But it's funny stories. There's a lot of stories in baseball, man. Golly. Brad Miller. That's who it was. Brad Miller. He's like, dude, don't like Clemson University. Yeah, Brad Miller. Great guy. He got me laughing after it happened. He was like, dude, sorry. Like he's like Vince is a buddy of mine. We played together in Pittsburgh. And he was like, he's going through it right now. Like, it's all right. He didn't mean to. Sorry about that. So kind of funny. Kind of funny. Full circle moment.
Love that. You got to Pittsburgh the same year as David Bednar, right?
Yep. So we actually, the year we both got traded together, we showed up to spring training the same day together, played catch on a random field in Sarasota, like some rec park field. His wife, girlfriend at the time, now, or fiance at the time, now wife, stood on the side of the fence with my wife as we played catch in this random rec field, like 3 days before spring started. And great guy, one of my favorite people of all time. I love him to death. Absolutely love him.
My favorite story is just when you guys were in the bullpen together and kids were just like, there he is, there's David, and there's you.
Yeah, like this, David doesn't come down to the fifth. Chill out. Like this, don't. If you want David, come back after. It's like the
Did he?
starter's done.
He's a Pittsburgh guy through and through. Did he introduce you to anything like some icy lights, some any other Pittsburgh staples?
I mean, icy lights, pierogies, what's the sandwich shop? I'm gonna get heat so bad for
Permani
this,
Brothers.
but Permani Brothers. I wasn't a huge Permani Brothers fan, just because I didn't eat a ton of lunch. Like I would go get breakfast at like 10 o'clock with my family at this coffee shop, and then we would go to the field. So like I was never eating out. So don't hate me. Part of it, whatever. Love Pittsburgh. I've said it many a times, but Permani Bros. I only went like once, and I would go different places. We'll say that. So,
I
um,
like it, but I just like French fries, so I'll
so
take them in any form.
what? There's something else that goes on, right? Not just the French fries. Primani
It does
Bros.
get pretty soggy in there. It does. If
Yeah,
it
there's
doesn't,
something that goes on their like staple that I do not eat, which makes up for it, right? Right?
yeah.
It gives me a reason not to. What is it? Yeah, order online. Sure, I just want to view the menu. I don't really want to order the
Stall.
the slaw. Yep, slaw. There it is. I just saw
Yeah,
it.
I'm not.
I don't do
I
slaw,
I
so
usually request
so,
none.
so they could say take it off. I get it, but no, I just not a big slaw guy. So coming from the south, I'll probably get some heat from that too. But not slaw's not my favorite. So
I've told you this a million times. It's Pittsburgh's like my favorite city of all time. Just like the people there are hardworking. They love their sports teams, black and yellow and everything. It's just when you look back to all those years you were in Pittsburgh, that just had to be like the coolest experience ever living and being around there.
yeah, I mean, my time in Pittsburgh is something that I'll never take for granted. I follow probably 95% of the games. That has to do with friends being there, but also like there's a spot in my heart with, the Pirates. Like, I announced my son being born right outside the stadium in a picture with my wife. It's on my Instagram. We found out with our second that we were going to have our second in Pittsburgh and like did all of our doctor visits there. I got to do things in the community, really, meet fans, meet people. Like I was there for a good amount of time. So, I really got to dive in and like not just be a player, but kind of make it like a second home. And it's one place that I'll always cherish. I got to go back and watch a game about 4 weeks ago now. 4 Mondays ago, I went when Skeens pitched against the Blue Jays. So I got to see it from this angle, like the non athlete side of things. Got to see some friends in the bullpen and stuff. And it's different, but it was good. Just it's crazy, even with them not performing the way they wanted to this year. Um, there was 20, 25,000, 30,000 people there probably cheering. Paul Skeens, I think, gave up two early and ended up going like six with like 7 or 8 punchies. Like they won the game. Um, just the people of Pittsburgh are one of a kind, and they're people that are, like you said, hardworking, passionate, and they care. And
Yeah.
if you don't care, like what's it matter, right? Why are you a fan if you don't care? And that was something cool that they cared. Sometimes maybe too much, but they do care. And the good or the bad that I had, it's a place that I'll never take for granted, and I'll always go back.
Did you get recognized walking around PNC Park?
When I got to the bullpen, one guy who had been there for a long time, like even when I was there, recognized me. And then we were sitting kind of behind home plate. And as we were leaving, there was like a group of like 6 or 8 dudes that were like, "What's up, Will? Dude, what's up? What are you doing?" I was like, "What's up, man?" Um, so there's a few people. I wasn't wearing like baseball players. If you're outside of Jersey and you're not like 6'7" Aaron Judge or O'Neill Cruz or something like that, you're not like getting spotted very like often. Like I'm a big bodied guy, so like you could see I'd walk past some people, they'd be like you could
Look
see like their
familiar.
mind was working, but no, nothing too crazy. Just other than a couple kids after the game, or a couple like 20, 25-year-old kids that were like, "What's up, Will, dude? What's?" I was like, "Hey, man, hey, how you doing? Like, it's good to see you. Yeah, you probably hate me, but that's cool." So
I think that's just like Pirates fans. Like they care so much, like you said, about like their team. So like they invest and like they know who the guys are. So I wasn't surprised when you had said that, like, yeah, people that watch the Pirates in the last 5 years, I mean, yeah, they 100% they would recognize, 25 starts or whatever in 21 and a full year in 22. Like that's you have a lot of memories for people.
oh yeah, oh yeah, put in some good time. Like I said, I got to dive in the community a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
I loved Pittsburgh, still do, still think it's a really cool place. If they want to hire me in some capacity, I'm definitely open to hearing it. But yeah, I'm just it's a place that I hold dear to my heart, and it's somewhere me and my family will always hold close to us.
Can you talk about your relationship with Bryan Reynolds and just like what he means to the Pirates? Because he is like he's like their guy, and I think it's so cool that like everybody in Pittsburgh loves him. He's been a rock in the lineup for so many years. But you guys are pretty good friends, I think.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends. That's kind of why I went to Pittsburgh. We got to see each other, hang out. His wife is very close with my wife. He has three kids, three boys under 5, and then I have three kids as well, a boy, girl, and a boy under 4. So we're both kind of in similar plays of life. His wife, like I said, his wife and my wife are very close, and then me and him we're very close. So yeah, I mean, he's to me, he's just he's Brian. He's nothing. He's not this guy who's well. I give him crap because he makes a lot of money, but that's what friends are for. But
Yeah.
he's just a buddy of mine, and he's someone that once we got through, Brian is very tight knit. He keeps his circle close to him, and once we were able to like get through a couple of those barriers of like, hey, we both like bourbon. Hey, we both like playing Fortnite. Hey, we're spending 6 months together. And then in 22, with the lockout that was going on, he had a place, but he hadn't like committed to it yet. And I had a place. We only had our son, and he only had his son. So it was both one with like their 3 and my 3, and we had a 3-bedroom apartment or condo, and I just basically told him, I was like, dude, don't like sweat it, like don't worry about living, like if the lockout ends tomorrow, we have an extra room, we have a big laundry room, like you can put Reese's sleep stuff up, you guys have one side of the house, we'll have the other side, and like we can stay together and like we can figure it out. And they ended up staying with us for that spring, which was awesome. Like we got real close there, and kind of the rest was history. We just kind of bonded over similar things, and um, yeah, he's one of my best friends. So
Love that. Does he? My
I
favorite clip is just like somebody asked him like why you use Toby Keith's beer for your horses as your walkout. And he just said 2 words. It's a or whatever. It's a jam. It's
it's
just
a
very
jam. It's a
quiet.
bop.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a kind of mild mannered guy. He's gonna give you 20 homers every year. He's gonna hit you 270. He's just go
I
about his
mean
business.
he's having a down year. Other than the COVID year, this is his not his best, but like he's up down. He's feeling better. He's hitting the ball harder than I think he has in the past. So like a little unlucky there, but like yeah, I mean he's signed a good contract. He got what he wanted. He's gonna sign you up every year for 270 to 280 with 25, and if he gets lucky on 10 balls a month or 5 balls a month, you look up and the dude's hitting 330 and he's an all-star again. 320, right? He's a good player. He's solid. He needs to work on his defense a little bit. He knows that. And I'll remind him when I see him every time, just because it's true. But
So friends are for.
he's yeah, it's right. So he's a good dude. He means a lot to Pittsburgh. He has a house up there. The faithful, like I said, they care, and he knows that. So I think a lot of people maybe give him crap because he's going through it a little bit, but like let me tell you, he works, man. He's doing everything he can to like figure it out because he knows how good of a player he can be, and he straps it in. He plays. I think I saw something yesterday, and you could probably find it. I think it was yesterday's game, where it's like him if he finishes this year like full healthy, like I mean, there's 10 games left, but like if he plays, I think it's some number. They were saying it on the broadcast. It's like him and like six other players in MLB history that are played that much every year they've been in the big leagues. And it's like health is wealth. And for the most part, other than maybe a month in 22, he's been healthy and he plays and he runs it out every day. And he's a grinder and he cares. Like he's a dude you want on your team. And I think it shows. Like you watch him, he hits a ground ball to second. He's not flipping his bat and jogging to first. He's trying to beat it out. Like it's who he is as a person. So
It's the best. I had a couple non-stories from your like just like around baseball that I want to check on really quick before we wrap up.
okay,
You and Strider, you guys had the same internal brace. I think yours was maybe a month after his back in 24. Um,
yep.
he has kind of had an up and down season. I don't know if you paid too much attention to Braves games, but I read this article and it was talking about in his last start that he's found a lot of success because his velo isn't quite back yet from that internal brace. That like he's going less fastball. He lost 3 or 4 miles per hour off his fastball this year, and guys are teeing off on it. He's
Mm-hmm.
less fastball, striking more guys out. How long does a velo take to come back all the way from that kind of surgery? And are you surprised that like less heater, more success for him right now?
Well, a lot of times with the internal brace and, me going through the hip now, it was like, hey, like what's going on? And everyone's like, listen, don't like think about this decision because like you're coming off of an internal brace. It's 18 months. Like everyone said that. My agent, who's been through it 1,000 times, guys all over. If you watch, if a guy comes back mid-season, gets a full off season and comes back, his velo comes back. Like it comes back. It's going to come. It's just like he, and this is where I was this year as well. Like I wanted innings, right? Like he needs to get innings because if the Braves want to be where they want to be and his contract is 2 or 3 years left, whatever it may be, 2 years, I think, after this, um, he's got to pitch and he's got to throw 185 innings and he's got to be on the mound. So with that being said, like velo's probably down a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. You could probably check while I'm saying this, but I would be willing to bet that his vert is a little down. It's naturally probably going to happen. It might be very similar, but like an inch difference with 3 to 4 miles an hour, like I was saying earlier, is so much different for a hitter to be able to adjust to. Like 94 at let's say 20, or I'm sorry, 97 at 20, which is probably what he was averaging, 97 to 100 at 20 degrees vert, or let's say 18. He might have a low arm angle, but that like plays the same. But I would like to. Do you see it? This is vert down at all or no?
I'm on Savant. Am I looking for four seam fastball, vertical drop, or vertical break?
Do vertical break, I think.
He's 16.4 this year. Last year was 17.3.
Okay, so an inch difference. So I think his VAA is he's a little lower on his VAA, which helps, and he throws it 100, right? But like Otani was throwing 100 with like a 13, which is dead zone, but he threw 100. Like a lot of guys who throw 100 are like in that dead zone era. 17 to 16 isn't that big of a deal, but like every one of those balls an inch higher that they're swinging at and fouling off or swinging under now go an inch lower, they're hitting it exactly how they want. That's perfect launch angle. If a guy pops the ball up at 17.5 inches of vert and then it drops to 16, an inch lower, right? Where is that going to be? It goes from being off barrel to on barrel. And then you take away that he's not throwing 100 anymore because he's getting his velo back. Like there's going to be some growing pains, but like I bet he knows more than anybody that like get him to this, like get through this year, stay healthy. I don't know. He's probably got 100 innings. He's probably getting close to 100, which puts him in pace to throw 150 next year, which is what he's going to have to do. Like if they want to win, he has to throw 150 innings. And the strikeout stuff comes from like, in my opinion, working on your off speed. Remember when he first broke into the league and he was like second in Cy Young or whatever, he was throwing 100 at the top and sliders at the bottom. Everyone's like, he's a two-pitch pitcher. How long is he going to be able to do this for? When you lose a fastball, what do you have to do? You have to evolve. I saw him throw a changeup yesterday. I think he's throwing a curveball as well. He's throwing now a slider too. Like I'm pretty sure he's throwing 4 pitches now, maybe 5. I don't even. He might even be throwing a sinker. Like dude's going to evolve, but what does that do? It buys you more room. You don't have to have elite pitches or anything, but like if everybody in the league thinks you're going to be throwing 94 or a slider down and away, well, then nothing, they can cut the plate in half. If it starts inside, it's a heater. If it goes away, it's a slider, right? Like there's only two pitches we have to worry about. So he probably realized after he got walloped for a month that it was like, hey, where do we go to get better? Like the velo will come in time. Let's keep evolving as a pitcher. What do we need to do? Throw the heater less, pick up other pitches, and go after guys and see how they perform. He's on a contract. He doesn't have to worry about being in the minor, like getting sent down, right? His money's guaranteed. Like, hey, I'm going to pitch every fifth day. I can work on a changeup in game to the best hitters in the league. My money's coming in, and I can literally work in game situation, which are you can't take for granted. He gets to do that at the highest level against the hitters he's going to try and get out with new pitches every fifth day, and he doesn't have to worry about it. Does he want to be good? Yeah, he wants to be good. Nobody wants to suck, but like he can go back home and go, hey, I know what this year is. Like they've been out of the race for probably a month and a half now, so like he's probably like, hey, I get 8 weeks to throw, get my innings, and evolve as a pitcher. So when I come back, if I am 98 to 100, I have 4 pitches and I'm 98 to 100, not 2 pitches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 22. He was 67% fastball and they were 98 average. This year this year he's 50% fastball, but he has a slider, a curveball, and a changeup, like you said. So
there you
that's
go.
I've never heard it broken down like that. But what is a pitcher's relationship with their fastball? Like I have to imagine because when you start pitching, it's probably the first pitch you really throw and you pick up a ball and you throw a heater. Like what do you think? What's your relationship with with a fastball? And like what is that day like? Probably where you're like just not fastball's not working.
So take my last start, for example. I already told you that I couldn't throw it through a paper bag, right? I don't know how many pitches I ended up throwing. I know I gave up a crap ton of runs, like whatever. But like I couldn't throw the fastball past a single soul. It wasn't happening. Like not happening. Like 91, like everyone was like, all right, throw that BP heater in here. We're gonna hit it to the freaking moon. Like so it's like, all right, here's a slider, here's a sweeper, here's a curveball, here's a changeup, here's another sweeper. Like I was throwing like 80% off speed. When you don't have a fastball, you can't pitch in the big leagues. And I say that because there are guys who don't have fastballs in data wise. Like, hey, he only throws his fastball what 20% of the time, right? I don't know what the least fastball usage is in the big leagues, but I would bet it's still 15 to 20% of the time. But those guys who maybe don't have a fastball probably throw it to work with other pitchers, to work with other pitches, right? To make their other pitches are elite. So then it's more of a show me pitch than it is a tag me pitch. But they probably throw it at 96, right? If you're throwing a 91-mile-an-hour heater, it's going to be really, really tough to get guys out when you're throwing 83-mile-an-hour breaking balls. Guys don't have to worry about getting beat with a fastball unless it's elite vert or elite movement, right? So like it all plays together. Like if you throw 91 but you get 20 inches of run on a sinker with negative vert, you can throw it all day. Nobody's going to touch it, right? But if you're 91 with like 15 and 5, and guys are seeing 20 and 5 at 98, you're probably going to get your stuff punched in, right? So like knowing that like you have to have a fastball to pitch in the big leagues, but also knowing that like even the bad fastballs in the big leagues can be used in the right way to set up what you're actually throwing. Go look at how many starters in the big leagues don't have a fastball. I bet it is almost zero. If you don't
I
have a
think
fastball in the big leagues, you cannot be a starter because you can't go both sides of the plate.
some of them are kind of cheating though, because like Framber Valdez, he's 44%. That's a sinker. So like he's
Yeah, and
not.
it's an elite. Look where his sinker matches up. It's an elite sinker.
Yeah.
Like so, if you have an elite, I'm just saying four seam or sinker or two, whatever it may be,
Right. That's yeah.
you can throw it, right? You can throw it and get away with stuff. If your stuff isn't like elite, you use it to your advantage. Like, hey, you're going to use it here, but then you're going to go slider elite, change up elite, sweeper elite, show me fastball, breaking ball off, back to a changeup. Like, there's different ways to like get around not having a heater, but
Yep.
most of those guys are bullpen guys.
Yeah. Maybe like some of the funky sidearm guys that are just like dropping weird stuff in there. Maybe that's some of those guys. Um, did you ever want to be a side armor? I feel like every pitcher has a
No,
phase. No?
never, never. I was pretty over the top. Like I've had basically the same mechanics my whole life. I went to the same pitching coach at 6 that I did at 18. And then when I got to college, my college pitching coach, Jerry Myers, one of the best, he was like, I'm just here not to mess you up. Like you have clean mechanics. Like you just go throw strikes and you're going to get guys out. Got to the big league or got to the minor leagues. Hey, your mechanics are pretty clean. Like a thing here, a thing there on your maybe your leg lift or your foot drive, but like you're clean. So like from 6 on, I had pretty good mechanics, and I was doing well. I was performing. So it's like I can go pull a picture up downstairs of me pitching, and I'm like almost in the same exact position going down the mound at 12 in 7th grade with hair down to my back that I
Yep.
did in the big leagues, 2 years ago.
Hey,
So
that same haircut. I know what you're talking about. Um, Bieber was that was the Bieber era. Yeah,
yeah.
but that's a great segue because Jonah Tong, Mets rookie phenom, looks like Tim
Mm.
Lincecum when he throws. But I read a story that his 64% arm angle is the highest in baseball. But when he was learning to pitch, he always wanted to pitch like Chris Sale and kind of low 3/4, kind of sling it. But his dad said that wouldn't be good for your arm long term. So to overcompensate and kind of like a screw you, he became the most over the top that any pitcher has been. Um, that's just a funny like over. Okay, I can't do this one. I'll have to overcompensate the other way. But yeah, is that hard to like change that dramatically, even at a young age, to be like, well, let's just figure this top one out then?
I mean, it's not natural, right? If it was easy, you would see a lot of guys do it. Like Giolito changed his arm path. Um, Logan Webb changed his arm path. There's a couple guys in the big leagues who have changed their arm path even after they were in the big leagues, right? Like I think Logan Webb did it in 2018. He got popped for some of the so that was when all those crazy substance stories were coming out. But he got hit with that, and he came back, was throwing like 94, 95 normal, and came back throwing a demon sinker at 92, 93, and blew. Like now he's awesome, right? And Giolito, he went from like having a super long arm action to like now he's to the ear and like real close to his body. And some guys do it, some guys try and do it, but it's not easy. Like the last thing you want to do on a mound in competition is to think about movements you have to make. Like if I pick my leg up and I'm going, oh, don't take my arm back too far. I got to keep tight, ready, and throw. Like by the time I get to the end, I'm thinking about is where my arm is, not who I'm trying to get out. Like, and at the end of the day, you face the best hitters in the league. If you're not worried solely on getting them out, you have no chance. No chance at all.
I always wonder how like Mania did that because he came back throwing like Chris Sale last year.
I mean, it's I don't know his. I haven't looked into his as much. I do know he's out there now. And then he like really. I mean, you got to work on it. Like it's not easy, right? But
Repetition.
I mean, yeah, it's just reps. So like, do you spend a full off season to like change your arm action? Like I was in a place this year when I got hurt the first time before I came back. I was like, I don't know if I'll come back. Like, am I going to be able to play? Like, if not, like I was texting my guys at Tread, like, hey, look at everything you can, arm angle change, like body change, like whatever it may be. Like, let's think out of the box here, right? Because like I said, my first outing in Double A, my first one back from TJ, I went like 1 inning, gave up 3 runs. Pretty sure I balked in 2 because I didn't know the rules. And then I went like 20 something innings or 21 innings of like 1 run ball, like something like that. I go to Triple A, I get hurt, have like bad outing, or I make the play, pitch through it. My next start, I was like kind of similar to where I was in 2020, where I couldn't really sit down. It's kind of pacing again. I was like, oh gosh, I can feel it. Didn't have a good one. Then I was like, listen, I can't walk. The next day I came in, I was like, I can barely walk. Like, we got to figure this out. So went on the IL, came back, had a start in the pen where I was only like 30 pitches. Felt good. Was up to like 95.5, throwing the ball hard. I was like, hey, we're back. As soon as I hit the 40 pitch mark, my next start, I was like hurting. Then I had a decent one where it was like 12 a.m. and I got a bunch or 12 noon game. And then my last two, it was like my shoulder and my hip were barking so much. So it was like, what do I got to do if I'm healthy, right? If nothing's structurally wrong with the hip and the shoulder, let's get it fixed this offseason and let's think outside the box. And that's where I was. And I think that's where some guys go, because when you've made it to the big leagues, you want to stay at the big leagues, right? You want to get back. Like me, it was, people are like, oh, you're a big, no, I'm a future big leaguer. That's what I was telling guys. Like, I'm not like, I played in the big leagues, but I'm a future big leaguer. I don't want to be called a big leaguer. I want to be a future big leaguer because I want to get back. And that's what you're doing. And I think the longer you get down your career, Mania, I think he's probably 29, maybe 20, 29, 30. He was probably like, if I stay doing what I'm doing, I'm not going to be successful. I'm going to be out of this league in 2 years, and I'm going to struggle. Like, I'm not going to be playing baseball. So what's the definition of doing the same thing over again and expecting different results? Like, it's like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not like, that would be dumb of me. So a lot of older guys, I think, go through that at some point, if they're struggling and they want to, make a change.
I think you see that too with like older pitchers. Like once you realize that like the zip isn't there, like CC Sabathia when came up, he was a fireballer, just fastball, fastball. And then as he got older, he became crafty, and he
Yeah.
kind of went through like a Verlander's had to go through a little bit of that too. I feel like where he had to change who he is as a pitcher. I'm sure it's never easy, but yeah, you're right. If you wanna keep getting the big league jobs coming, kind of have to adapt.
Mm-hmm. Evolve, adapt, get guys out. That's the name of the game. Get guys out. And you get to a point in your career where you're like, hey, my pride, I don't have pride. I have a job to do. And whatever I have to do to get this job done is what I'm willing to do.
Absolutely.
So,
All right, my last question. Give me. I want the predictions because it's
mm,
September 17th. Um,
okay.
who are a couple teams? It doesn't have to be like your World Series winner, but who are your teams that you're locked in? You think they're going to go deep in the playoffs for the NL and a couple from the AL?
I mean, is it cheating to say the Dodgers? Like, I mean,
No,
I do think, they're getting hot again. They're playing ball like better as of late. Like, they're getting guys back. Everyone's getting healthy. That's, hey, you're a genius. Not really. I just think they have $400 million in the team, so they're going to be all right. I think they're going to have a chance to win it all. Obviously, I do think the Padres have done enough to scare them, to give them a scare if they have to face. If the Padres get in and win round one, and then if they face them in round two, I would be sweating if I was the Dodgers because they barely snuck out of it last year. San Diego is a different place in the postseason. Um, and Cubs are back in it for the first time in a couple years. I don't know, with Kyle Tucker not being in there right now. And this isn't just because I played with them, but I do think the Phillies have a bone to pick with like how the postseasons ended the last couple years, and losing Wheeler is a huge thing. Nobody, I'm pretty sure it tore some of those guys apart. Like, he was one of the biggest guys in that clubhouse. With that being said, I think they're playing for something more, right? They're playing for Wheeler because they know that that's their brother, that's their guy. And if I had to drop money on NL right now, not allowed to, haven't done it. Don't come looking at me. I don't bet on baseball. I would put money on the Phillies to be in the World Series. Um, and then the AL, I mean, Yankees are playing better of late. Um, Blue Jays, uh, let's see. Tiger. I don't trust the Tigers. They needed to get a pitcher at the break. They didn't get one. I don't trust them as much as I thought I would if they had got a pitcher. And then out west, it's kind of a free for all. Mariners, Rangers are all kind of like a game back. Who's winning that division right now?
it's Houston by a half game.
Houston is up. I just feel like they're going through it as well. I'll probably say Phillies versus the Blue Jays.
That was mine.
I like
Yeah.
the I like Phil. I like what the Blue Jays did at the trade deadline. Some of the players they got, they're a sound team. They got young guys, they got old guys, they got pitchers. And then I think the Phillies, with what they did to their bullpen, the time frame of guys coming back over the next 2.5 weeks, I just feel like they're going to be in a good position to make that run. And really, I mean, Chris Sanchez, Suarez, those two guys are unbelievable.
Nola's
Um,
nails in the playoffs.
yeah, Nola, you got. I mean, I trust Luzardo with because velocity and movement win, and he's got both of those. And then that lineup, I just think that lineup is you get Trey back. If Trey's not there, that's a different story. But I think you get Trey back, and you run that top six with anyone in the league. Um, and I say this carefully, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies win the World Series this year. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I'm riding the Phils are right there with you, man. They're so much fun to watch. Shout out Matt Strom. It's just
Yeah.
they have so much. They have some good vibe, and the Jays can pitch, man. Bieber fever's back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jay,
That's right.
Jay
He's
Bieber's
doing it.
back, man.
Hey, Strom, I was hoping I'd get to meet him. Let me run over here real quick. I have a baseball card that I want to put on screen to show him. My son pulled it from a Target pack, and the last time I checked, it was like a $500 Babe Ruth like King of Aces card. Let
Ooh,
me go grab it because I
yes.
want to know his take on it. Oh, I gotta walk slow. Remember,
I was gonna say, yeah, the hip
I'm
thing
on
probably.
I'm on crutches.
Yeah, let me.
So
Running over
it
might
might
be an overstatement.
yeah, I'm gonna hobble over. Uh, try and not step on the landmine of toys that are in my house right now. I got it.
It's so cool. You and your son are ripping packs.
Oh man, we have a whole bag of them up there. My plan was to get whoever I signed with to once I made it back to the big leagues to get them every player that we pack signed for. So
Mhm.
I have all the Phillies in a bag up there. That I was like, we get back to the show, we're getting everyone to sign it. All right, let's see.
Ooh,
And then on the back it says all aces.
what brand is that? The tops?
It's tops and it's Ace of Diamonds. Babe Ruth tops, Boston Red Sox. We have it on the in the clear and the hardcover. All aces on the back with Red Sox on it.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna send this to him. Probably make a clip out of that too.
Okay.
That you should get that thing graded.
That's I don't want to go waste my time. There's a place where I can get it graded, but like if he's like, yeah, you. As soon as my son packed it, right? We're open pack. Yeah, it's a Target pack, whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh. And he goes, what, Dad? What, Dad? And I grab it. I said, we can't touch
We
this.
gotta put this in
I was like,
something.
so we got it directly in a case, directly protected. It's been in the drawer for, that was before I signed. So it's been in the drawer for like 4 months. Like he's not allowed to touch it. Like I'm not even like this is the first time it's been picked up in like months. Like it's cool. It's a cool card. So I'm interested to see because I've taken care of it. And I don't know if this was true, but someone had told me there's only like 5 or 10 of them that they made. And when I pulled it, I looked it up, and there was only like 4 that had been like people said they had. Now that could have been straight up false Reddit bullcrap, but on there's an app like a card selling app, like it's not like WhatsApp, but it's something else. My buddy sent me a picture, and one sold like the day before for like 450, and I was like, well, that covers every bit of expense that we put into cards times
Yeah,
2. So it's been cool. We've packed a couple of signatures, and then that's the big one. So
you're back there, right?
hey, I see it. I see some burly looking man in a Pirates jersey.
Yeah. This is PSA
Nice.
grade 10. It's my
Hey,
prized possession.
let's go. On both sides, big dog. Got the jersey and the card. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking
It's just like
about.
when people come over and it's just like, yeah, it's a conversation piece. I think they're like,
Yeah.
is that yours? Did you just get a custom of your, like, no, my good friend
No, we
Will.
sent it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
sent it. So
Um,
from the
well, this
beginning
has
to
been
the
cool.
end, man. Yeah, from the
Yeah.
beginning to the end.
It's, it's been cool, man. It
Yeah.
came full circle because I think I just DM'd you on Instagram. I was just like, I'm still a big Nats fan, but it's just like be cool to talk to somebody who might be a Nat at some point this year. And then
Mhm.
5 years later, here we are. So I think that's really cool.
Really cool. It's it's cool that I got to talk to you then. Been able to talk to you and keep our relationship for the
Yeah.
last 5 years,
That's a
and
long time.
I look forward to keeping it, man.
Yeah, man.
Jumping on the pod, doing baseball talk. I'm still going to be invested in baseball whether or not I'm playing. So there's always good conversation for me to have and spit out there. That if you want me on, I'm always going to be. Hey, I'll take an hour or so to talk with my buddy.
There's
So
always room for you here on the pod, man. It's been so much fun.